and welcome to Gamespot TV. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Kate Patello. Today on the show we have Diablo 2, among other things, like Diablo 2.
Yes. We also have an import review of Vagrant Story, but first we're going to look at a game that's not as imminent as those two titles. It's Sacrifice, a game from Shiny that uses the Messiah engine.
Now, I heard that did really well at the Game Developers Conference.
Yes, it wowed quite a few people, and it stands to do the same at E3.
The original idea behind Sacrifice was what happened is we were sort of working away on games like MDK, and this was normal, Earthworm Jim, MDK. And if you look at movies in Hollywood, a normal Hollywood movie is about 2 hours long, and they have to entertain you from end to end. In a video game, we have to entertain you for maybe up to 40, 50, 60 hours of gameplay. And that's an unbelievable amount of work for us. And so our programmers said, let's make a strategy game. And so that to me sounded like a great idea, because then you just play in this strategy world. But the reality is, once we started developing the game, we realized, well, we still have to have all of the single-player RPG elements in the game. And so it's actually turned out bigger than any game we've ever made before.
The backstory really comes down in a nutshell to the fact that there at one time was this omnipotent god, single god that ruled over everything in a world that was already full of wizards and so on. But through a very bizarre series of circumstances, a sort of schizophrenic explosion takes place, and this god splits up into 5 more elemental gods.
Sacrifice, when you hear it described to you, it's a large fantasy multiplayer kind of game. It's very epic, it's got lots of great ideas. But I think personally the thing that's going to make it different is that while you think you're playing the game, there's actually gods above you playing the game through you, and these gods are manipulating you.
What differentiates it from other real-time strategy games is primarily its pace. It's very fast-paced.
An enemy wizard is approaching your wizard.
Your goal is to go from actually your lowly wizard that has just 1 creature spell usually and 1 magic spell.
Guard me.
And by sacrificing to your god, by completing missions for your god, and by killing the minions and the wizards of the enemy gods, you gain experience and ultimately try to become the champion wizard of one of the gods. In order to win the game in the multiplayer, you have to be the last wizard standing. So if it's a one-on-one game, it's as simple as finding where the enemy's altar is and, against all odds, completing a desecration ceremony at that altar. Once the altar has been desecrated, what that does is it removes the wizard's link to his god, so the wizard then vaporizes and he's out.
Your creatures are dying.
With the Sacrifice team, we actually have a group of people from the original StarCraft team that's working on this game. So it's not like we are just a bunch of platform console guys trying to make a multiplayer game. We have absolute thoroughbreds working on this title, and that's part of the way Shiny is. It's constantly re-establishing itself and trying to draw in talent that's going to push us in new directions.
It's good to note that if you have that gigahertz processor, like all of us, and you don't know what to do with it, Sacrifice does. The game runs on a scalable engine, which increases graphical depth depending on your processor power.
Right, pretty much. So if you're running it on a gigahertz monster, you can see all the daisies in the field before you trample them.
For whatever that's worth.
Yeah. And now, the game news.
Daikatana, John Romero's latest design effort, is no longer a work in progress. Eidos, the game's publisher, announced that the game has officially gone gold and will be on store shelves during the 2nd week of May. It should be noted that Daikatana has been steeped in delays for nearly 4 years. Following South Peak Interactive's recent announcement of its Dukes of Hazzard game comes another game based on a 1970s TV show. Empire Interactive said that it has signed an agreement with Sony Pictures to publish a game based on Starsky and Hutch for the PC and next-generation consoles. The game is scheduled for release in 2001. According to the London Times, the Italian Bishop's TV channel concluded that Pokemon did not have any harmful moral side effects. While groups across the globe, including the Mexican Catholic Church, have been condemning Pokemon for inciting violence and illicit behavior in children, the Vatican channel went on to praise the phenomenon, stating that it was full of inventive imagination.
For the latest in gaming news, go to the Gamespot.com website.
And if you want more on Sacrifice, come to the Gamespot TV website, where we have extra gameplay footage and streaming video.
Hey, don't forget to send in that V-mail and get your fabulous mug on Gamespot TV.
Hi, my name is Curtis from Chicago, Illinois, and here's what's coming up next on Gamespot TV.
Coming up on Gamespot TV, we review MDK2. The game looks fantastic, but it's really, really hard to play. And we get behind the wheel in our review of Porsche Unleashed.
Two-thirds of your estate gone. Without proper planning, two-thirds of everything you've worked so hard to acquire could go to the government. Call Solomon Smith Barney at 1-800-EARNS-IT, extension 355, and see how a simple will isn't enough. Get your free special report, 10 strategies for preserving your wealth. You'll learn how to shelter up to $1 million by 2006. Why it may pay to retitle your assets. And whether you should own life insurance in your own name. See how to protect the people you care about most. Call 1-800-EARNS-IT, extension 355 for your special report today. See how we earn it. Solomon Smith Barney.
Does your e-commerce site have what it takes to be the UPS Merchant of the Week? Put it to the test. Go to ZDTV.com, click on the Merchant of the Week, and enter your e-business. Your .com could win a week of promotion on ZDTV. While you're there, vote for this week's contender and you could win a $100 gift certificate from Buy.com. It's a win-win destination. At ZDTV.com, click on the Merchant of the Week. Just imagine being linked to a source of information, to a global internet adventure. Just imagine clarity in a world of chaos. Now, there's a new television network, ZDTV, your home for entertainment, explaining the power of computers and the internet, creating a world of possibilities. ZDTV, amaze yourself.
Hey, welcome back. So, Adam, I've been hearing these desperate cries of anguish coming from the game lab for days now. Please share. What's the matter?
Well, you see, Kate, I've been dying. I've been playing MDK2, and I've been dying. Now, the game is the sequel to the original from Shiny, and this time the developer is BioWare. The game still retains that sleek design from the original, but it's a tough one.
But is it fun?
Yeah, it's fun, but, well, you know, Kate, this is why we have reviews.
All right.
MDK2 has you play the three characters of janitor turned hero, inventor, and robotic dog as they once again attempt to stop the alien threat to Earth. The game's level structure is very linear, and is almost a throwback to side-scrolling platformers. You pass checkpoints until you reach a boss, and then start a new level over. The most refreshing element of MDK2 is that it doesn't take itself too seriously. The game is filled with funny pop culture references.
Oh, I'm just good for my own bad self. Hello, Earth. Who's your daddy?
And while Shiny's influence from the first title is evident, it's not too obnoxious. The control scheme in the game is similar to N64 shooters. The 4 digital buttons move the characters, and the analog stick determines where they face. Triggers control jumps and shooting, and the digital pad has a variety of uses. It's a good use of the limited Dreamcast buttons, but tight spaces and ledges will become difficult to navigate. The graphics were one of the selling points of the first game, and in MDK2, they're even more impressive. Environments are large and detailed, lighting effects are spectacular, and textures are distinct and creative. The game's significant flaw is that it's insanely difficult. There's no shortage of well-armed aliens to shoot, and some of the platforming is very, very tough. Boss battles can prove needlessly challenging as you figure out what you're supposed to do. In fact, the game would actually be playable in only a few hours were it not for the insane difficulty factor. Nonetheless, MDK2 is a worthwhile experience. The humor makes it very likable, and the variety of game mechanics make it far more than a mundane shooter, and much better than the original. Video Games gives it an 8.3 out of 10. Did I mention that the game is hard?
No, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Actually, the game is definitely fun, but you need to be dedicated and possess some very well-honed skills to avoid unrelenting frustration.
Well, you know, there's another way to avoid unrelenting frustration.
Oh, how?
Talk about a different game.
Good idea.
All right, the latest Need for Speed is out, but this one features one type of car. So do you think that's going to automatically limit the appeal, or?
Well, it can, but in this case, it's a Porsche.
Porsche.
Well,
whatever it is, it's unleashed.
3, 2, 1, go!
Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed is an ambitious title that features cars exclusively from one manufacturer, Porsche. With a product line spanning over 50 years, be assured there will be dozens upon dozens of models to choose from. Detail abounds with accessible hoods, trunks, and interiors, plus working turn signals and headlights. Controls are spot on. Thanks to realistic 4-point physics, you'll be witnessing the car's independent suspension at work. Not since the first Need for Speed have open road courses been available. This, plus lush scenery, lighting effects, and exquisite detail make Porsche Unleashed look fabulous. Cars from Porsche's classic era up to the present are yours to drive in the Evolution, the game's campaign mode, where you'll earn cash to buy new models. You'll be able to tweak with a variety of parts to suit your performance tastes. If you truly do have a need for speed, check out the innovative factory driver mode, where you become a test driver for Porsche's fastest cars. You'll be given assignments ranging from generic driving challenges to rally races. Other modes include the quick race that allows for up to 7 opponents, knockout and elimination type setup, and the Chronicle, a historical retrospective with beauty shots and print media. Driving enthusiasts should fall for Unleashed in no time, despite the fact that this game only features Porsches. Gamespot.com gives Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed an 8.8 out of 10.
Now, if that Need for Speed review left you in the dust, then come by our Gamespot TV website to catch the review in streaming video.
And while you're there, don't forget to take our Speed Demons poll. Let us know which racing sim finishes first. Could be Gran Turismo 2.
Need for Speed.
Oh, maybe Gran Turismo 2000.
Or Ridge Racer 64.
Can't take it.
The choice is yours.
Coming up on Gamespot TV, first, we do battle in the Star Wars universe in our review of Jedi Power Battles. And then we duke it out on pavement in Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Wednesday, May 17th, live on air and online. It's CDTV's second annual Cam Film Festival Awards Show, featuring your digital shorts. Watch as host Michaela Pereira and Sinbad announce the winners. Then go backstage and chat with all of the CamFest nominees. CDTV's second annual Cam Film Festival Awards Show. It's all happening live on air and online. Wednesday, May 17th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Sponsored by Logitech.
You want to take charge of your financial future, but you're still sitting on that proverbial fence. This will help you get off. The E-Trade Online Investing Kit.
Our online investing kit shows you how to invest in stocks from $4.95 with rebate, plus bonds and options. How E-Trade exclusives like Smart Alerts keep tabs on your investments, and how Power